The survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's abuse say all they want is transparency and accountability. Their fear is that isn't happening, despite the release by the US Justice Department of millions of files relating to the convicted sex offender. The US Attorney General, Pam Bondi, in a tense and combative hearing before US lawmakers on Capitol Hill, defended her handling of the files as Democrats accused her of engaging in a cover-up by redacting the names of several men from the documents that have been made public. All this comes as one abuse survivor has told the BBC that the royal family's response has been too little too late, and she wants King Charles to proactively search palace files relating to the former Prince Andrew. More on that in a moment, but first, Gary O'Donoghue as our top story tonight from Washington.
Jeffrey Epstein's survivors have brought their fight for justice to Capitol Hill, furious that some of their details were released in the files. They say that's traumatized them all over again.
Abusers' names and contact information is redacted while our faces and stories are left on full display. This is not protection. This is betrayal.
A partial release of these files by the DOJ, riddled with improper redactions that expose the vulnerable and shield the powerful from accountability, is not justice.
Give us the rest of the files and start the investigations. Start the investigations on the things that are in the files right now.
Inside the Capitol, the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, was appearing before an influential committee for the first time since the release of the files.
Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is true and correct to the best of your knowledge, information, and belief, so help you God?
I do.
With some of the survivors in the room, one Democrat used their presence to attack the Department of Justice.
And if you are willing, please raise your hands if you have still not been able to meet with this Department of Justice. Please know for the record that every single survivor has raised their hand.
In her opening statement, Pam Bondi had expressed sympathy for the victims, but no apology. And what about further criminal indictments?
I find it...
How many have you indicted?
Excuse me. I'm going to answer the question.
Answer my question.
No, I'm going to answer the question the way I want to answer the question.
No,
Your
you're going to answer the
theatrics are
question the way I
ridiculous.
asked it.
You don't tell me
Yeah, oh, I
anything.
did tell you because...
That call for prosecutions by many Democrats extended to Andrew Mountbatten Windsor.
These two photos staring you in the face are evidence of a crime and more than enough evidence to predicate an investigation against former Prince Andrew. So I ask you, Attorney General Pam Bondi, why did you shut down this investigation last July, and why have you not prosecuted former Prince Andrew?
I don't believe you asked Merrick Garland.
Pam Bondi appeared about to answer that question, but was cut off. Mr. Mountbatten Windsor has always denied he's done anything wrong, but has not recently answered repeated calls for him to come here to answer questions.
Shame on you.
Oh, for goodness sakes,
You're
this
from
is
a tiny...
pathetic.
The committee often descended into a shouting match, with the Attorney General launching into her political opponents.
This has been around since the Obama administration. This administration released over 3 million pages of documents, over 3 million, and Donald Trump signed that law.
Members of Congress are continuing to review the unredacted files, which have now led to a number of other names of alleged conspirators being made public, and to repeated questions over why no new prosecutions are being pursued.
Well, of course, when it comes to Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, congressional committees have no power to compel them to come and give evidence here. And there's been no indication whatsoever that the Department of Justice is seeking any more kind of formal methods of bringing the former Prince Andrew here. Intriguingly, though, on a wider point, Pam Bondi did seem to hint that there may be some pending investigations in her office. It wasn't clear what she was referring to, whether that was wider prosecutions, but that's something people will be looking at in the coming days. Clive, just a few days ago, the president said that he wanted the country to move on from Jeffrey Epstein. There seems little chance of that happening anytime soon.
All right, Gary, thank you. Gary O'Donoghue there live in Washington. Well, the BBC has seen an official document which appears to have been sent by the former Prince Andrew when he was a UK trade envoy to the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Now, it dates from 2010 and includes information prepared by British officials about investment opportunities in Afghanistan. The claims are being assessed by Thames Valley Police. Here's our royal correspondent, Sean Coughlin.
The Epstein files, with their allegations about the powerful connections of the US sex offender, have become a global scandal. And that includes questions about the role of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and whether the royal family should be doing more. Juliet Bryant, speaking to the BBC from Cape Town in South Africa, says she was abused by Epstein between 2002 and 2004. She wants the questioning of Andrew to go further.
They need to go through all Prince Andrew's files, in emails. They've done that to me. They went through all my information. I think it's about time they went through his information, since he was actually Epstein's friend and working with them. I'm willing to speak to them anytime, any way I can help, so they can contact me, and the other victims they can contact. The thing is, I just hope they're not just saying this. I would like to see them actually taking action.
In the UK, the Thames Valley Police are currently assessing claims that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor shared official documents with Jeffrey Epstein when Andrew was the UK's trade envoy. And we now know the contents of one of those confidential documents. It was a briefing prepared for the then Duke of York by UK government officials in 2010 about investment opportunities in Helmand in Afghanistan. It talks about the commercial opportunities from significant high-value mineral deposits such as gold and uranium and possibly oil and gas. Trade envoys have a duty of confidentiality, and Sir Vince Cable, who was business secretary at the time, is highly critical of sharing such information with Epstein.
Passing them to Epstein, really is appalling behaviour and a breach of trust. Whether it's a criminal matter is a matter for the police, and I know they're investigating us. Clearly, it represents a serious breach of trust, and you would not expect public figures to behave in this way.
It's already been revealed that Andrew had sent Epstein official reports from his visits to Southeast Asia, raising questions about Andrew's time as a trade envoy. Former Prime Minister Gordon Brown has added his voice to calls for Andrew to answer questions about Epstein to the police. In his 2019 Newsnight interview, Andrew said he would be willing to testify, but it's still to happen.
If push came to shove and the legal advice was to do so, then I would be duty-bound to do so.
Prince William has been on a diplomatic mission to Saudi Arabia this week, but that also has been overshadowed by the scandals surrounding Andrew and Epstein. King Charles has voiced his deep concern about the revelations about Epstein, and the palace has made clear it won't stand in the way of a police investigation. This evening he was talking about the importance of carers, but it's his brother, now in the King's care in Sandringham, who continues to come under scrutiny. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has strongly denied any wrongdoing from his association with Jeffrey Epstein. Sean Coughlin, BBC News.